Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here now with the grand finals of the ESL One Cologne North American closed qualifiers. It comes down to CLG versus Team Liquid. We've already seen some of the other North American Titan squads be invited to Cologne, but there's one more slot up for grabs, and it's time to decide if it's going to be CLG, the new up-and-comers, or some would say the old up-and-comers, who have sort of come back into form as of late. Or is it going to be Team Liquid, the team that almost managed to take the first major for North America last year? We'll have to see, of course. And starting off in the pistol round, getting right into it. At the moment, it's CLG just destroying this entire hit. They get 3, 4, now 5 kills as Ethan moves in for the double kill at the end of it. And they will start off with a pistol round victory. Of course, joining me in this cast is Bach. So Bach, this round went a little bit quick. I couldn't even get to throw to you. How you doing over there?
I mean, pretty good. A pretty promising start right now if you're CLG, right? Because we watched how good Liquid was against Misfits earlier, where they completely dominated the map. So if you're CLG, at least you're happy with the way that pistol round went. It wasn't even that they just won the pistol. They won the pistol with ease. They really didn't suffer too much at the hands of Team Liquid. So moving forward, this bodes well for CLG. Interesting that CLG lets this one through the veto phase again, knowing that this is such a good map for Liquid. But obviously, they feel a little bit confident. Second map will be Inferno, which we'll talk about at one point, because that one, too, really piques my interest, given that CLG has won 1 game out of their last 8 on the map. But regardless, still in map 1. So we'll talk about map 2 when time comes to it. It's going to be a save here for Team Liquid. A bit of force behind it. Oh, man, that nade from FNS is right on the mark. 2 players on the other side take a lot of damage, but somehow FNS has a hard time finishing off Elige. He's going to swap out for the Tech 9 as his ump did run a bit bare. Meanwhile, Cutler, though, with his UMP, dropping 2 on the push from Long. The bomb's been downed over on Long A as well. Stanislaw is the only remaining hope here for Liquid at having a successful round.
Yeah, Stanislaw just trying to sneak his way up and do as much damage as possible here. He's got himself halfway up the steps relatively for free. It actually has in my opinion, has a very large chance of being able to sneak in a kill here. And there you go. There's that kill. Finding it against Cutler. More than this, though, he's going to be stretching the reality of it, as FNS does manage to move in, shut him down. And CLG will indeed take control of the early lead here by closing out of that second round and forcing Team Liquid onto the full save before they will reinvest on the first gun round. Also give CLG hopefully a little bit of a better chance to stack up cash, as losing those 2 players in the last round is probably not going to go over too well for their economy in the long run. We will have to see, but at the moment, as you can take a look and see, their money is still a little bit low because of those deaths, specifically on the 2 players that went down.
One important thing to note, we were talking about that second map. Who do you think's the one team that CLG beat in their last 8 Inferno matches?
No clue.
It was Liquid.
Well, there you go.
So maybe some mind games being played here. I don't know. But the first map is off to a great start for CLG, winning the pistol and the ensuing anti-eco. There's one more here. Look at the play from Kusta. Oh, man, he's going to get caught looking the other direction. If he had looked the other way, there were so many players right in front of him. It would have been free kills, as there was 3 armorless opponents, and that ump would have just chewed right through them. Instead, they surrender an ump over to Liquid. It'll be Nitro who carries it now, and he'll still lead the charge with the bomb, moving up towards the first door in mid. But they haven't pushed past it as of yet. Slowly working into that direction. Ricky is here to back up Cutler, who's on Long. They still got 2 players B, and those guys haven't even really moved. FNS is watching towards E-Box, and Ethan almost looks like he's AFK. That dude is stoic. Finally jiggles a bit to make us know that he is, in fact, alive, not an android. Ricky, though, with his UMP, looks a bit like a robot as the headshots line up with ease for him. The last 2 kills coming in by way of the man we were just speaking about, Ethan, rotating in from the B site. So, again, a pretty strong round here for CLG.
Yeah, so they do indeed end up, as predicted, with that 3-0 start, and now Liquid will go for their investment. And to start things off, again, I doubt we're going to see anything super crazy from Liquid. Liquid tends to keep it pretty kosher at the start of their maps. But I could be wrong about that right from the beginning of it, as all 5 players proceeding upstairs over here to the outer courtyard. They could just split this up and then go into the default lineup, and that seems to be what they are going to do. So, yeah, like I said before, somewhat predictable. But now it's shaping up again over here towards a Long. So they are going to line up for a little bit of a faster direct take. Still could be somewhat expected, though. Kusta tagged this a little bit, but he's not going to try to escape down Suicide. Problem is, though, is that he's not safe down here, but the smoke should throw them off a little bit. He does have to be careful peeking into Elige, but finds the shot, eliminates him, and now he's going to face pressure from the other side, hits that shot, and now finally goes down to JDM, but that's going to put it up in his hands, and despite the one-man disadvantage, now JDM has the op, and we saw him, how he came alive in the last 2 maps of that set, one of them being on Cobblestone. That's dangerous here. Stan hits the first entry on the site, and they've re-evened it with 3-on-3. Cutler's going to try to change that, but no. Stan holds strong, and with JDM's 2 more pickups, Team Liquid are going to shut down the round.
There's that op. That, like you were saying, JDM really spins the round back for Team Liquid after he steals the op out of Kusta's dead, cold hands. He gives the round to Team Liquid, breathes life into them, but it's also Stan pushing up very fast on mid. Stan just kind of, with reckless abandon, ran straight up mid and jumped over the half wall to watch for a player falling off long. There was nothing there, but he had gotten all of that information. Hey, there's no one here on this A site right now. It was just that one guy they had to concern themselves with within Danger Stairs, which was Kusta, who played that position masterfully, I might add, with that op. But how much can you really do from that kind of tight of a position with the AWP? Eventually, he does meet his demise, but still great work from him. Unfortunately, when he gave that gun over to JDM, that really gave Liquid a lot of opportunities to break into the bomb site. So now he goes early towards the Danger Stairs, falls off, has support from Cutler, and moves his way back towards the vent, or the murder hole room, watching down mid just on the edge of the stairs. And that's where we see Liquid kind of grouping up right now as they move towards the danger room. Cutler's going to be on the receiving end in just a moment.
Cutler's going to have to be very careful about the position he plays towards, currently just sitting at the edge. He's going to leave him very exposed in the event that Team Liquid do start to just swing out big here, basically playing from just a one-and-done spot. And Kusta's not sitting in a much better position in the event Cutler falls and they just bypass him. So this is a very big support system set up between these two, and if either one falls, the other has to immediately react or possibly face death, which would lead to just a full-on site take, full control for Team Liquid, I should more properly say. But there we go. Cutler able to hold for one, but goes down afterwards. Gets a second, before going down there. But his teammate did fall without picking up anything at all. And now that is going to be full control for Team Liquid. Thankfully, trades were good, though, and that still keeps the dream alive for CLG. As they push back in, Rick is able to find the kill on Stan. Ethan, also a part of this, up from heaven. And then FNS out from the doorway, shuts down JDM, trades the gun round back. And that'll reset the losing bonus for Team Liquid.
I like the little flash that was thrown by Rick. It didn't actually work, but it was a nice little impromptu attempted pop flash to blind the player who was hugging the wall next to APC. Still, though, picks up 2 for his ump, so it's not really a bad exchange in favor of CLG. And now Liquid, they're starved a bit. They're going to be back down to pistols. 2 umps in play as well, as Twist and Elige are forced to pick up the SMG. Compared to the P250s and Tech-9s, though, that's an improvement. But they've already lost one of those players. Twist goes down early in the round, no opportunity for trade, so it's basically just a free kill for CLG as they tried to get aggro early on and get something started here. FNS sees some bodies in mid. He's trying to connect, but he's got to be careful. They're moving up from long. Can't get caught off guard by these players coming around the bend, but he does. Cutler's in the back of sight behind the APC. Nice shooting from Cutler onto the second target. Meanwhile, in sight, we've got JDM. It's going to be another kill for Cutler. Stanislaw is the only remaining hope here, but look at that. With a pistol and only a pistol, he managed just to split the defense here. Both players from CLG apart from one another, and Stan is right in the middle.
He's going to go down finally to Kusta, but what an effort from Stan, man. Moving in, the first pistol kill, and then the 180 to find the second one. Nice stuff from him, but it's not going to be enough to win out the round. So 5-1, favor of CLG. At the very least, Stan making it a bit more expensive at the end, but his team is still not going to have the money to buy into this next round here. Yeah, just P250s. And for JDM and Nitro, well, they won't end up investing at all. Team Liquid just going to proceed forward very slowly in a usual stack up, so just playing into a default on this full save round. And holding players on top of drop, probably to take some quick control there. They may try to go for a bit of a push in through the mid connector to maybe do like a slight A-pinch, but I don't really see how that is going to be able to work under these circumstances. So yeah, they just divulge their players back into the B halls, and are probably going to end up going for a relatively straightforward hit out into B in a second, which, unless CLG are severely mispositioned, should get crushed pretty easily.
Ethan's back by E-Box, exit FNS over towards Pizza. They're both going to fall back by the White Rock and play a little bit further away, but it should be pretty easy to just rip apart these players coming around the corner. And yeah, there you go. Exactly what you would expect out of the round. No armor, not really much of a chance there for Liquid. They don't even get the bomb down despite getting onto the platform, but still a 6th round for CLG. So right now CLG is starting to, grind out rounds against an opponent, Liquid, who looked really good in their first match, or their earlier match against Misfits on this map. It's like a completely different team now. Like, compared to what we saw earlier on Cbble from Liquid, it's a complete 180. And CLG is bullying on Liquid, if anything. Yeah, well, Team Liquid is going to get themselves another chance right here, as they
do have that next investment working in their way, but no op on the JDM this time. Keep in mind, one of the few times it actually did happen and we're able to use it effectively was when it got scavenged off of Kusta. So we'll have to wait and see how well this aggression over towards the platform fares out. Stanislaw is trying to make a move on his own regard, and it starts off pretty well. Lights up Cutler, can't succeed in actually getting the kill though, so has to move on to the next target, which is going to be Finesse, but fails to knock him out. So Finesse holds on, eliminates Stanislaw. Now the rest of the team is trying to push their way into the A bomb set, but even that's not going too well. Kusta holds on with the elimination of him. JDM just walks into one of the mollies here, finds himself shooting at a teammate, and Kusta in the meanwhile is able to take another shot from the alleyway. He's still alive, but that's going to be short-lived as Twist now trades out that kill, just leaving these two up and running. Not only is it Twist, it's JDM. JDM trying to proceed onto the site, doesn't even check for Cutler, so it's caught mid-reload, and he eliminates not only JDM, but finds Twist back in that alleyway as well.
Really not a whole lot of money here for Team Liquid to fall back on. It will be pistols and armor one more time for them before they're able to buy up full using that 5 rounds of loss bonus that's going to accumulate, assuming that they lose this round right here. Liquid really need to get things going pretty soon here, or CLG is just going to run away with this map. I mean, this was a map that coming into the series, I'm like, okay, I think CLG could take this one, but I think it's going to be 3 maps based on the fact that we see Cbble in play. It's just such a strong map for Liquid, but doesn't look like the same Liquid we saw earlier. They're down 6 rounds to CLG's 7, and they're grouping up right now for a push into the drop room, and the pop flash is actually off the mark. It may have hit one of the teammates as they tried to make their way out, but it looked like it was just thrown short. And as a result, they don't get any action going. Only 1 kill for the 3 players that jumped into that territory. JDM and Stanislaw now trying to get back to the bomb, which has been dropped and surrendered on the other side of the window. And it's an easy closeout for CLG. They only suffer 1 casualty. And if you look back at the last few rounds, in round 7, all 5 survive. Round 8, 4 survive. Round 9, 4 survive. Things are looking pretty good for CLG's money.
Yeah, average of like, what is this now? Right around like, obviously Ricky and Kusta are a little bit lower, so it does bring the overall totals down a bit, but still sitting right around like the 7 to 6K mark right now, and the overall average for the team is not bad at all. Obviously, with Ricky and Kusta lower, it is going to bring like Cutler's money down a little bit if they have to rebuy into that, but still, the rest of the team is looking really good right now for at least 1, possibly 2 full rebuys if needed. But Team Liquid onto another gun round, playing into yet another default here too. Very spread out and very focused on that long A. You can see usually these guys are a little bit more spread out in the courtyard, but it seems like they're fully committed to it. And again, it's Stanislaw trying to be the player creeping around in the smoke here, but he's not able to spot all that much. And I imagine with him hopping around, the Cutler would have been able to hear this, so he does promptly fall back over to the A site and plays into a more normal setup just to defend the site.
Oh, nice shot from Twist as he peeks towards the window. Ricky, I mean, he was just off the mark with his bullet. It would have been delivered first, but Twist right on the money. So it's a 5-on-4 advantage that Liquid, quite frankly, hasn't had in quite some time. I don't remember the last round that we really saw Liquid get off to an early advantage. Might be a successful round for them, but the biggest fear right now, it's in the back of your head if you're Liquid. All right, if we're going to win this round, we got to survive with a lot of players. We cannot afford to drop the round right after this. We cannot afford that reset. In mid, we've got FNS. Right around the corner is Cutler. And FNS is now flirting with danger as he just pushes into mid. Complete reckless abandon with that position. Cutler's going to throw a pop flash. It's actually a little bit behind him. He had 2 players right next to one another, thinking that the pop flash had done a little bit more than it did. Ethan, though, going right past the smoke, at least thinking about it. He wanted to get there before the smoke did, but he couldn't. So it will come down to this. It's going to be a 2 versus 3, a retake scenario here for Kusta and for Ethan.
Well, look at this from Kusta, though, just swinging out with a Tech 9 and immediately destroys Nitro, taking him out. Team Liquid now have to sort of counter-react to this one. They move the positions of their players up. I don't think Kusta realized, though, that the one guy behind the APC is now relocated, so JDM is going to be able to finish Kusta off when he finally leaps back over the wall. And with that, finally, we have a second round on the board for Team Liquid. Only took 5 straight from CLG to get it, but indeed, they do strike. However, like we mentioned in the last round, CLG still had plenty of money to rebuy into this round, so they will be still right back at full strength after that loss.
Because only 2 players survive for Liquid, you're not really in that great of a spot, right? Like, look at the money even just stacking up here. Only 2 players sitting above 1,000. So Liquid cannot afford to back off the gas pedal at this point. They have to keep things going. They cannot surrender around here to CLG and give them that economic control yet again. Nades being tossed out by CLG early, but no one on the receiving end as of yet from Liquid. Playing it back a little bit further on the broken wall, trying to use that off to pick anyone off that wants to play with that smoke. So CLG's got to be careful not to flirt with disaster at the top of those stairs. There's already bullet holes in the wall from AKs that spammed through the smoke. JDM holding his ground, though, waiting for the push. Meanwhile, Kusta is in that danger stairs position again, watching the bottom of connector in case anyone feels keen to push in that direction. Doesn't seem like that's going to be the case, as Liquid is stacking up for a B execute in just a moment. 3 players here on this B site, but really just one watching the broken wall. That'll be Ethan, so he's going to be the one tasked with this tremendous amount of the map. That B platform is so hard to control. He will have some support from Ricky, but being in that he's playing pizza, he's going to have to also support E-Box as FNS is watching the window. So depending on how fast Liquid explode onto this site, this could be devastating for CLG.
Well, out they will go. Team Liquid moving into that site, and Ethan trying to hold from behind Statue, but he's currently alone, smoked off a little bit as well. His teammates need to rotate in past his position to really be able to assist with this because of that smoke's positioning. Twist will take him down after 1 kill. FNS is going to take his place, but same story. 1 kill and then done. It does leave it even into a 3v3, and in a moment, Cutler's going to move in on this flank, catches JDM at just the right timing too. With Kusa's additional pickup, it just leaves Stan alive, trying to hold on, but he's got to be careful of the broken wall push. Not even needed though. Cutler will shut it down as he finally pushes into the site. Broken wall flank succeeds in culling out the remaining members of Team Liquid and allowing CLG to take back control, and another reset for Team Liquid's losing bonus, which is like the worst case scenario for them at this point.
I wonder if Ricky even realizes that he dinked that player in sight behind platform, or behind Statue for that matter. I don't remember who it was, but he just kind of fired off a few shots through the edge of a smoke and just hit him right in the head. It was Stanislaw, who then was forced to duck back and try and use the wall for a bit of cover, who ended up being the last remaining player for Liquid. But I don't know if Ricky really knew that he even hit him. I think he knew that the player was there, but great shooting from him to put Stanislaw in that position where he can't really make a move, being as he's got so little HP. So again, pistols in play here for Liquid. CLG looking like they're going to grab their 10th round with ease. Are we going to see that same round we saw from them just a few rounds ago where they try and flood into the drop room? It does appear to be the case. This time, though, no flash to lead them in. So Ethan right underneath and Ricky and E-Box, this should be easily taken care of by Liquid.
In will go Team Liquid here now to try and take control of this one. They actually swing in, and Twist picks up both of those entry kills. So with that said, just going to leave Kusta alive. He misses the shot, so he's going to go down, and Team Liquid are escaping with murder considering the circumstances here. They push in. FNS is kind of in the sight on his lonesome right now, but he's making a whole lot of progress. The op shot misses. He tries to move in against Elige, but misses his first opportunity at a kill. Cutler does respond to that with a nade, and is able to knock out JDM afterwards, but in a moment, he is going to be... Well, Elige actually has to go for this. I was about to say he's about to be flanked out, but Elige is... seems to be having some second thoughts back there. So Cutler trying to swing in on his own and see if he can have the best attempt at trying to get to this bomb, but in all reality, not really expecting this one to work out. Moves in. Twist is the easy kill. Does actually get a jumping headshot there against Twist too. Just these last two that are essentially impossible to find. They don't need to peek him at all. He can just jump onto this smoke, and even before he gets inside of it, Elige is going to be able to spot him, take him out of the play, and Team Liquid do indeed close out on that third round there.
I think if Ricky just holds his ground instead of trying to go for the nade, probably an easy hold. Instead, he hides. Ethan's right underneath, and he tries to throw a nade. I don't even think he actually got the nade where he intended. He just kind of threw it out there. Could have killed his own teammate, because I don't know if it got up into the boost. I didn't see it, but still, though, if he was holding with just the rifle, I think that goes a lot differently for CLG in drop room. It ultimately just comes down to missed shots. There were so many opportunities that CLG just gave Liquid with just pistols. So here again, they find themselves down a man early on in the round. Kusta's died. That's the op player, or at least one of the ops. As now Cutler has picked up the secondary, and Ricky, an opper in his own right, goes back and he's got an op himself. Cutler found the op on Kusta's corpse, and he's positioned himself back at the entrance to connector, watching down bottom mid, where we've got FNS right around the corner with the Mag 7. Here, though, Ricky, he peeks out from B platform. Oh, no, not like that. They throw the molly, and they immediately extinguish it with their own smoke. So that's a waste of that incendiary grenade that was thrown out. However, the bomb has been dropped right on the location of that smoke. Ethan, you got to watch out. There's 2 players in drop room, and he's right on the other side. He hears them jumping around. Did he spot him, though? It doesn't look like he saw Nitro going through that smoke, so he's going to be in position to take a fight here in just a moment with Nitro with this UMP.
Well, CLG are going to take... Oh, looked like for a second they were going to commit Cutler to the other bomb site, and they might have wanted to do that, as now it's just Ricky sitting alone here in the site. Finds one, and a beautiful second swing shot onto Nitro. With that, he might have just won the round for his team, but he's going to do more. Moves in for the 4th kill, and he follows it through to get the ace. Ricky, absolutely insane stuff from him, and it keeps the advantage rolling strong for CLG.
Jesus. He just, I love that too. Like I'm watching his perspective. He comes in the next round, just a slight nod up and down, like, yeah, that was me. Hi, I'm the secondary op, and I just aced a B push. It looked fantastic from them. That's one of the flex plays that I think CLG has, because reality is Rick A is still really good with a rifle in his hands. He's not a one-dimensional player in any respect, but fantastic work just using the architecture of the map, just, you know, dodging around the statue in the B-bomb site and just completely obliterates Liquid. I mean, even plays in the molly for a little bit. He's taking molly damage on the statue, but he still sticks around, and he wins the round for CLG, gives them their 10th. What a fantastic round from Rick A. But they still need to rebound here. There's still an op in play for Liquid and AK as well. The rest of the team is working with Tech-9s. And we saw that that was a round that Liquid actually found success on or not that long ago, when they were able to just kind of overwhelm people who got caught off guard by the pistols coming around a little bit quicker than maybe they had anticipated. Cutler's up on the roof, and Kusa's here to support him in the A site. That seems like it's where Liquid's going to be moving.
Yeah, Liquid just running down the timer, of course, and trying to set themselves up for the best possible circumstances on this hit. Ricky showing up with that kind of power, and with Kusta also being in this match, we've seen some good stuff from him already too. He's like behind the rest of his team in terms of overall kills, but he's definitely been there when he's been needed. And this is one of those times. JDM has already killed his teammate, but again, he can only get one single kill. JDM trades it out afterwards. FNS tries to leap into the site, but the same circumstances as before, he gets immediately traded back out. Ethan only has a mag 7 and 17 HP to sit behind it, so he's really a non-factor in this retake. And Ricky with that op is the only other thing they have. They're going to choose the better option here since their own money is a little bit low right now. They'll back out, and they'll let Team Liquid take this 4th round.
So save coming in here. They'll bring the op into the final round. Like we said, for whatever reason, Liquid seems to work with the broken buys quite well. It was JDM with the op that got 2 that kind of made this round possible. But even still, Liquid going to grab a 4th. Not a successful half for Liquid by any sense, as CLG really got off to a strong start. Kind of giving Liquid a little bit here at the end, back and forth battle. CLG, they're not going to be in a great spot with their money for this final round. So that op, if he can do it again, like if he could somehow do it again with that AWP on the B site, maybe something will happen, but it's going to be SMGs. It's going to be sloppy here. They've got an MP7, they've got a Mag 7, 2 umps, and an op. So, I mean, it really comes down to that big gun. Is Rick A going to be able to stop this push again? It looks like he wants to go fast towards mid and maybe find an opening.
He's going to smoke it, though, so probably why they're just, well, he'll spin around. I was going to say he might reroute up towards the long A or something, but that actually is where he's going to go. Oh, I called that correctly. Well, now Team Liquid going to jump back in, but Finesse already with 1 pickup. Twist tries to trade it back. Same story, only able to get 1. Nitro finding an additional pickup and stand in this battle. He's been dominating these steps so far in this half, and he'll continue to do so this round. UCT's left up in the battle here, and Ricky just leaping back in, not checking down below him, but still is able to somehow kill Nitro under those circumstances. Incredible stuff from Ricky yet again. Brings us into a 2v2. The bomb isn't even planted yet. They're going to counter boost Ethan, so we can try to go for a bit of a flank here while keeping Ricky in the drop room.
Ricky's got that op, and he's chiming away with shots from E-Box. The bomb, though, has been picked up by Liquid, and they're moving it over towards A. This is a great move from Team Liquid. Stanislaw watching the window, sees Rick A. But yeah, now they know that the bomb's moving over, realizing that Stan wouldn't be in this position unless it was an A execute, and they haven't heard a thing towards B either. So Ethan's already rotated over towards bottom mid, and he's now moving his way up towards the slope. Rick A still in window, doesn't know where Stan has gone. So Rick A is kind of limited in his availability right now on the execute. It's going to be up to Ethan to make something happen here, moving up from mid-slope all the way up to the APC. Stanislaw is in a general vicinity towards him, and it looks like Stanislaw's been spotted. Shot's been down, delivered to Stan, drops him down to 14 HP, but look at the bomb plant position. This is beautifully played by Liquid. He's going to try and stick it as they come out from connector and from long. No, Ethan, does he have the time? The molly's going to go down. He's going to be able to stick it. Oh, no! My goodness, JDM wins the round with the Tech-9 in the 1 versus 2.
Oh, it was so close to getting that, too. I think he just stuck it through the molly because he thought he was going to make it, and he was. But JDM just commits to it fully with the Tech-9. So close. But it doesn't pan out. So JDM, very well played in the 1v2 from him. Just makes a move, and it works out well for him as he closes out on that round and gives his team a 5th. And makes that half relatively respectable overall for Team Liquid. 5-10 scoreline. Definitely will try and stack up a little bit more, but CLG, specifically Ricky, was an amazing form for that half. So So it was rough to try and battle it back. So we'll end up 5-10 on the scoreline here as we are going to switch sides and start the second half as soon as the player is ready up.
I mean, if you're CLG, you're probably pretty happy, right? You know, you take 10 rounds against Liquid, a team that's already shown how strong they can be on Cbble once tonight. And you knew that Liquid was going to come into this one, and they were just going to do exactly what they did in their previous match. So CLG plays it beautifully. Sure, you could look at a few of those rounds and be like, this could have been a 12-3. That last round right there, or, you know, it was, what, an eco round earlier where they completely lost control of the round. This would be a really strong half for CLG. But it's still not bad. I mean, 10-5 on your CT side, on your opponent's pick. Pretty good start to the best of 3 for CLG. The next map is really the one where it gets interesting, but we'll wait and see what's going to happen with the end of this one before we get to that. Just waiting for the players to ready up, like you said, so we can get live in the action here in the second half, as it is Liquid who find themselves at a 5-round deficit to their opponent.
Talking about some of the impressive stuff we did see, though, on that half, I think I mentioned this at one point during the cast, but it was sort of in passing, as the Stanislaw was actually really good at his ability to kind of creep around out of smokes, like really sort of tight angles that usually a T is not going to be able to get past without being spotted. Specifically, one example that calls to mind where I saw this happen multiple times in the half is he's really great at pushing out onto the platform past the usual box with or without a smoke under some circumstances, and then getting control of the steps and being able to either find an entry or just punish positioning at that point. It was really cool in the way he was able to play that. Something that I honestly don't know if I've seen utilized too well before. So some good stuff from him coming out there.
So now we just wait. Yeah. The inevitable long pause between halves here for NACS. I feel like this is just kind of, it's part of the scene. Just get used to it.
Well, here we go into the second half. That was live on 3 has begun. CLG with a hefty advantage, especially coming off of CT side. But if the pistol goes by the way of Liquid and they don't get ecoed, then they're still in a great position to immediately come back into this right off the first gun round. That would be the real test, of course. But could go right the other way if CLG manages to take it.
Well, CLG moving their pistols towards mid early on. There's the pop flash to lead them in. There is a player right around the corner. There's actually 2. It's a crossfire set up for Nitro and JDM. This feels like a mirroring pistol round here, as this is similar to what CLG did on their pistol round. This time, though, it's the T side who find the openings, but it still settles down into a 3-on-3. That does give CLG some semblance of control, as they didn't over-dedicate. They didn't push the doors. So now they can keep Liquid guessing. They move. Are they still here? Are they going to rededicate? Rick's still here. He's got his eagle eye trained towards the door, and Elige walks right into the crosshair. So the man advantage now for CLG, and they have carte blanche of the map. They can go B if they want to, but that's where Liquid seems to be stacking their chips, hoping that maybe CLG has rotated off with this bomb, but it doesn't seem like it as of yet. CLG is still sitting towards A with it, waiting to see what they're going to do here with the 55-second mark hitting on the clock. And now you can see some aggression coming in from Twist, even just to see if this is going to be the case. He's realizing now this is an A execute, and they're going to have a bit of a flank play coming in.
Yeah, CLG slowly trying to wrap their way over towards the A site right now. But taking their time a little bit too much is going to allow for a flank to be opened up very early on. One that I honestly don't know if CLG are even going to be expecting. Nobody's checking for flanks currently. Nobody's watching the opposite sides, so this could open it up. The good news is, though, is that with FNS going back, if at least one of the players from Liquid routes the other way, then he may be able to either die or get a kill first that would allow them to spot this. But at the moment, none of that has been seen. Now that they are set up, though, and they've given themselves away, that's it. The jig is up, and everyone on CLG can start to set up to counter this back out. Team Liquid up at the wall, but have made no progress besides that yet, let alone getting a kill. Twist does have a kit, so they've got the extra 5 seconds to play with here, and they're playing it together, but already one of them has gone down. They have eliminated only one player from CLG. This is Stanislaw trying to pull off a 1v2, sneaks by the wall, spins around looking for the second one, and he does it! Nicely done from Stanislaw, and he should have just enough time to defuse this bomb and give Team Liquid the second half pistol.
It seemed like everything was going the way of CLG there. They get those opening kills. They bring it to a 3-on-3. They pick off Elige, who wants to just put feelers down towards mid, just wants to see what's going on. They have a man advantage, and the 2 players for Liquid are across the map. But they don't go towards B immediately. They don't know where the remaining members of Liquid are. Meanwhile, Liquid is wrapping around from B, and they have a great flank play coming in. Ultimately, though, it is Stanislaw in the clutch situation where he's been time and time again, and he delivers for Team Liquid in a must-win round to bring this game back for TL. It gives them their 6th, and they can start bringing this comeback into a reality. Stanislaw now positioned over towards Danger Stairs. He's got Nitros towards the mid door. They both have umps. It's mostly umps across the board here for Liquid. The only player who doesn't have one is Elish. Feels that MP9 apparently is just a little bit stronger. Maybe some people agree. I don't know. For the most part, though, Liquid seems happy to work with the umps. The smoke is down on long right in front of Stanislaw, where there's a group of players just waiting for it to dissipate. So here comes the toss out from mid, and he's in position to cut this one down. There's the first kill for Stan. Does he get a second? Yes, he does. But at that point, he's already running low on the mag, and Cutler's going to rip him apart. Nitro, though, on the backstab, coming up from the Danger Stairs, and it will be down to just Ricky. And he was the savior in the past for CLG, but it's unlikely here with just a P250. So Liquid, like CLG, survive the anti-eco with only one casualty.
And with that, now we end up with Team Liquid having a great advantage to work upon here. They managed to push their way through that round in a relatively clean fashion, but problem is CLG did manage to get the plan on the first round, so they're back to the bye. Good news for Team Liquid, they did deny the second round plan, so bye is going to be relatively weak here with the exception of the AKs. They're not going to get a whole lot besides just their basic smoke and flash. I think Ricky's the only one that got a molly. That is going to be it. Because they're working with the basics here. JDM knows that, so he's going to move out from long, take advantage upon that, pick up a first kill. Ethan tries to get aggressive over towards the B bomb site, but he's only met with one frag of his own. Elise just trade that back, putting this into a 4v3 now.
Elish falling off from the broken wall as there was a couple players on the other side of the smoke he wanted to get away from. Just one, really. It was FNS. So good man advantage again here for Team Liquid as CLG buys up to get the AKs. FNS on the Galil, of course. We've got Stan moving up towards mid, trying to put that ump at lethal range right next to FNS. And he's going to get there just in time, too. Catches FNS leaping. So now it's a matter of Galil versus ump at this range, and Stan gets caught leaping himself. JDM now in the back of sight with his op. Nice shot onto the first man. There's one in the sight, and he knows it, though. He goes up onto the wall. Cutler's right around the corner, and he delivers a blow there as well. FNS behind the APC manages to get at least one kill on the take into A, but that's going to be it there. Two players survive. They aren't able to get the op back. So Liquid, they do win another round, a little bit costly, but CLG is right back down to pistols one more time.
Yeah, so taking a look here at what exactly CLG are going to try to work towards in this round. With the beginning, like we already mentioned, they're only going to have those upgraded pistols. For the most part, it's Deagles, one P250 on Ricky, and Kusta, in saving for the op, chooses not to buy at all here. Split up in a default, though, so it's not looking like anyway they're going to try anything really like tricky. Just pretty fast out towards the platform for a few of these guys. Leading the charge is Ethan, but Molly will hold him back. Everything going pretty much as expected so far in this round. Probably CLG is going to take it nice and slow, run the timer down. Hopefully, you know, the best way this goes for them is they get a few picks on the players like Elysian JDM that are pushed back up, but in all reality, that's a little bit tough to do. And JDM will be able to shut down Ethan. That kills most of their plat pressure. They're even peeking back out. Kusta finally finds a pickup off that Deagle, and they do have a leash kind of trapped in the corner, but he's got a smoke to bail himself out. He's going to be able to escape. Kusta, however, again finds it. I'm not sure if he had it in a position to be able to spot through the smoke, but he finds a leash. Takes him out and now claims a second kill. So maybe there is room here for CLG to upset. We'll find out. Still a lot more work to be done.
I mean, they've got a man advantage, but they haven't managed to get a gun out of any of these fights. Still, though, they've pulled most of the players over towards B. Stan has to keep his head on a swivel because he's not sure what's going to be coming from drop room. So if they time this right, maybe Cutler gets past, but not going to happen. Cutler catches Stanislaw looking the right direction, so Cutler meets his end. And now the players are split apart. Maybe they can get this bomb across. It's all going to come down to how fast FNS is able to get into the site. Jiggle peeking, not sure if anyone's here. Finally decides to just commit, and he realizes, okay, I can get here now. Kusta's on the broken wall with the Deagle. He was just here to try and keep them here. The bomb plant is successful, so that's cash in the bank for CLG, which added to the 4 rounds of loss bonus is going to be big. Kusta, though, manages to pick off one more. He might be able to find himself a gun and just survive here, because I don't think he can get into position to stop this anyway. It's not going to matter. He's so far disconnected from the play, and he realizes it. So Kusta's happy just surviving with an AK, and he'll be able to bring that one into the next round.
Yeah, so he'll escape with that. Team Liquid do escape with the round itself, though, and that is going to be Liquid overall winning out the first few crucial rounds to put it within 1 round of now tying us at 10-10. Pause is going to roll in, I assume a tactical one from the CLG side, as this is a very important and very definitive round for them. As they go in with a full AK and op investment, they need to have a strat that'll work out well for them, as most of their attempts so far have flatlined, where they've just gotten close and have been unable to finish things off due to mistakes that they made throughout the course of the round, or not properly checking positions, you know, that old chestnut.
So what once was a strong lead for CLG has now been squandered as Team Liquid are within 1, tying things up and bringing us back to an even Steven 10-10 line. Does look like we're going to see CLG go with that op towards B early on. Kusta, though, smoked off, and it's a deep smoke as well. We saw Liquid in their match against Misfits use these deep smokes to push very far up on the broken wall, coming up from the B platform, and taking fights actually at, like, top drop, pushing up that far. Kusta, though, is going to go up on top of the boxes so he can peer over the smoke just to see if anyone's here. There's not. But Liquid is kind of setting this idea in their head. We're going to throw that smoke a lot, and maybe we'll be there. Maybe we won't. Double push on long, meanwhile, for both teams, but it's actually going to be the CTs who lose a player early on. Nitro responds immediately and drops both players there for CLG, so they come out on top thanks to Nitro's handiwork with his rifle. So we'll be a 3-on-4 in favor of Team Liquid. Ethan drops and sends some shots down to mask the footsteps. Twists is on the other end of the pole, just outside of window, watching in case they do decide to leap out in that direction. Still 3 players here, and they've got the op as well. We saw just how strong that op can be for CLG when it's in Ricke's hands, and it can be just as powerful for Kusta as well. Meanwhile, JDM with his op trained towards platform, but they've already dived out of that area. Doesn't matter, though. JDM just holds his ground back behind Chicken Coop. Kusta now sewn into a corner here. He's trapped in E-Box. He's got Twist right around the corner to deal with, and it's an easy kill for Twist. It is going to be the 10th round as Liquid and CLG are now tied up moving into the 21st.
And indeed, Liquid do follow through, not getting upset at all by CLG's new attempts to push themselves into victory. However, they still carry through with enough cash to be able to invest into this 6th round with full. They should have, actually a little bit surprised they didn't have it up. That's weird the way they managed that money, actually. It's a little bit surprising FNS even had to go to the ump, as there's still a player with 2,000 left over. So you'd think they would have been able to work that out in a better fashion, but apparently not, as FNS had already donated. Well, he donates his AK over, so it's just him and Kusta end up swapping guns at the end of the day, as they want to give Kusta the AK. So in fact, there wasn't an excess amount of cash spent. They just end up on the best buy they can get, but it is still a little bit weird. Anyway, moving on. Just a default opener, spreading out across the map, keeping a steady hold at the entrance to long A, and keeping presence of the halls to prevent an early attempt to push in and flank these guys.
Color waiting for that molly to burn off so he can move up just a little bit further. 3 players from CLG working up long, 2 on the other end for Liquid. Stan actually does get burned out. The molly initially went deeper, but it started to spread under his feet. So he's got to pop flash his way to get out of here. The smoke did at least save him a little bit there, as he had been dropped down to 54 HP, but that also sells out his position. He manages to make it across, but damage has been dealt by CLG. Again, here's Elige doing what we were talking about, pushing aggressively up the broken wall. So they use those deep smokes early on to send Elige up, and it gives some semblance of information. Elige hasn't heard anything in this area, so at this point they've started to pull more bodies towards A, and that's the right call, as it is going to be an A execute here, and Twist is going to be there to support, so it's actually a 3-man hold on A, and a fast rotate coming in from Elige potentially.
Well, Twist moving in, he picks up that first kill on the hold, but does not last very long. It's Nitro up to bat next, but the same exact story here that we so often saw back in the last half with CLG. Look at this from Elige, tries to move in and flank, but FNS just barely saves his own life. JDM, though, is able to move back in, eliminating him, so this comes down to a 1v1. And JDM tries to flank around, breaks up the vents, making it seem like it's going to be clear on the outside, but it does not work. Cutler still checks out for that, and he ends up with a 4K on the round, giving it to CLG as they just barely preserve their lead.
Former teammates now turned into enemies, and it comes down to a 1 versus 1 between them. But JDM just doesn't have what it takes there. Good positioning from Cutler, just holding that angle, waiting for him to peek out. I thought for sure Elige was going to get more going. He comes up from the mid-double doors, and he's staring at that player half wall. As soon as whoever it was that dove around from long came in, he realizes, oh no, like I gotta open fire now. And he only gets 1. JDM, speaking of 1, it's a fast kill coming in as he dives up onto the broken wall and gives CLG, or Liquid, the man advantage very, very early in the round, right off the bat. So, Ethan, you're not going to get to do anything here. You're going to be riding the Pine Pony for the remainder, as that kill came in within the first 20 seconds.
Well, CLG still trying to push their way into drop primarily. There's a lot of defense set up around that on the Team Liquid side of things. Despite their somewhat lackluster buy, they still have enough guns and presence to be able to easily shut this hit down from CLG if they position themselves properly for it. So in they are going to move now to try and take this control. And it is going to be a fast attempt to pinch onto A. Fast rotate from Nitro and JDM, though, leads to 2 quick kills at the hands of Team Liquid, putting this all on Kusta and Finesse. Both extremely split up. Neither one having control of the bomb currently. And Finesse, if he's not careful, going to probably end up getting peeked out by Stan at the moment. He's able to watch for that, though, and shuts down the attempt to kill him. And Kusta ends up just falling back from his platform push. He needs to go back in a drop to retrieve the bombs. They still have a chance of this, but the counter boost, is Kusta going to expect this? Heck no. Twist sees that coming and is able to spot out Kusta, leaving just FNS in this play.
FNS now moving in towards the stairs. He's got Twist boosted up right on the other side. FNS might be able to get a kill on Twist, but Twist is swapped out for the AWP, and at that range, it's basically shotgun. Point blank, right to the body of FNS. So as much as Liquid surrendered the lead, they take it right back. Or at least eliminate the lead, tying things up at 11 apiece here, as CLG have been broken yet again, and that bodes well for Liquid moving forward. What looked like maybe a first map upset for CLG, based on the way we came into this series thinking that Liquid was going to come out swinging on Cbble, has now become a hotly contested series, and you know, Liquid has kind of brought things back. It was looking really bad for CLG, or really bad for Liquid at the beginning, and CLG has kind of, you know, had control of that first half, and they've just fumbled it completely. They just dropped the game, and Liquid has taken over. They're like, if you're not going to, you know, close this game out, we will. So it's going to be an eco here for CLG. Pistols across the board, no armor, no flashes, nothing, just pistols to try and get the bomb down and boost the buy for the next round. They'll have 1,900 coming out of this, still not really enough to buy up, so that extra $800 might push them over the line.
Well, JDM getting ready to defend against this hit. And same with Nitro. Nitro's probably going to be the main focus of this one, however, with CLG more than likely prioritizing their push out from A long, but still having plenty to offer and throw over at JDM here. He's going to be able to pick up the first kill. Now Nitro's in the bat. He does get caught in bad timing. There's having some trouble tracing down the spray. Gets the kill, but unfortunately chased out by Ethan just seconds later, and he follows it through with another kill onto JDM as well. Twist, though, finds that triple kill and does prevent that from getting out of hand, as now Team Liquid are going to steal the lead away from CLG, taking us into the 9th round of the half.
And again, CLG didn't have enough money to buy up here. Even with a bomb plant, it would have been sketchy. So it will be pistol armor, and Liquid now have an opportunity to spread that lead to 2 rounds. Twist moving in towards the drop room, throws a smoke down early, but the bomb and the players from CLG fast towards mid, already gunning it up straight towards this A site. Twist is in position to get a couple of kills here, but he actually gets flushed back a bit further. He's still got a player watching the cross. It's going to be Stanislaw who has to go to the pistol, and he meets his end to Ethan. Nitro's going to go down as well on long, so damage is being dealt here by CLG, at least dropping bodies, making this round cost quite a bit for Team Liquid. Rick A now has JDM stuck in a corner, wants to go for the fight. JDM does the best that he can and survive a little while longer. Elige gets there, but not after the AWPer does go down. So now Cutler, right on the edge of the smoke, gets spotted by Elige. It's a round for Liquid, but a costly one at that. They lose one of the AWPs and 3 players as well.
So 13-11 coming into another very important gun round. Liquid's still going to be having decent cash flow even after this buy, so they'll be okay. But for CLG, a real breaking point here is they would have to more than likely end up ecoing again, even with the plan. If they force, it's definitely going to be taking some sacrifices upon it. So really needing to win out here if they want to have a chance to close this out in regulation. Otherwise, more than likely, Liquid are going to be able to easily push up to that 15th round after this one. But starts off slow. Very decisively, however, placed by CLG, all 5 of their players out on this broken wall approach. So you can expect an all-in attempt at a hit, as they are just going to look to brute force their way into B. There is already a strong defense network set up here from Team Liquid, though. 4 players, either inside or in the vicinity of drop, ready to defend this. And the only one that has to rotate is the secondary op in the hands of Stanislaw. And in they go. So let's see how well they can make this hit work.
We've seen JDM do great things from the chicken coop, and there's the first shot coming out of his off, and it's right on the money for Cutler. He's going to spot one as well on the edge of the smoke. That's going to be FNS. He doesn't see Kusta, but at that point, it doesn't matter. Just water under the bridge. They'll be able to grab his op, bring it into the next one. So CLG get stumped on the B push. No success for them. Team Liquid now just 2 rounds away from closing out the first map.
It's going to take us into another pause, I believe. I'm assuming from CLG, for tactical reasons once more. Again, same situation, really up against the wall here. It doesn't look like they decided to force into this round, and like I said, sacrifices needing to be made. Cutler on and Yump. Ethan and Ricky buy into it, but okay, they're not going to have any utility. FNS buys the Tech 9 so they can have utility, and then Kusta, we'll have to see what he gets. I would wager he would go for an ump buy, but we'll basically just have to wait and see after the pause how they're going to try to play this out. They've tried so many different strats, and it just really hasn't worked out for CLG on this T side, with the exception of the one round they got back in round number 6.
T side just proven to be a bit difficult for both teams. CLG was able to get 10 rounds on their CT side. They were even looking better than that for a while before Liquid got a few rounds towards the end. But CLG's having a way harder time on their T side. Not finding much of anything. And again, it does appear that they're going to go towards A, where they've got Nitro and they've got Stanislaw to contend with. Stan throws the molly down early, so the players that were advancing towards long, they're not going to be able to get into position as of yet. Nitro is taking a long-ranged approach for watching mid doors all the way back by connector. Stan's got to be careful. There's a lot of bodies around the corner from him, but there's a smoke down to try and cover his tracks. Kusta is waiting on the other end for that smoke to dissipate so the team can advance in that general direction. Nitro still holding his ground back here, but he's got support coming in now. Elige has rotated over from B. They seem to think that this is going to be an A execute, and they'd be right. Nitro has now switched positions with Stanislaw as Stan has moved back to watch mid doors. This is the right call as well, as Nitro's got this rifle point blank front and center watching the long push, and a molly in hand as well to try and support, and he's got Elige right by his side. So the tag team with the rifles here are going to be in a great position to slow this one down. Stan connects on the player coming up from mid, but dies pretty quickly. Ricky gets a great shot with the AK. Ethan's gonna find one as well, so Elige now has to come up big, and he only gets one from the plywood. Meanwhile, back behind APC, it's gonna be Twist. That's a great shot onto Kusta. He's got Ricky up on the hood. He sees the gun around the corner, but he can't take this fight, but they can't get the bomb across either. 30 seconds left, and they've got to try and make a move here. CLG has to get this bomb across, but they can't deal with Twists in the back of this bomb site. Now they decide to try and double peek him. He keeps the spray going. It comes down to a 1 versus 1. The bomb's been dropped in a beautiful position for JDM. Cutler's going to have to take this fight, but oh my gosh, JDM goes for the pistol, and Cutler just swings wide and moves his head clean off of his shoulders. So it will be CLG finding around finally, after 4 straight for Liquid.
Definitive round on a force-up as well, so they keep it going, or just barely able to level themselves into it. And keep in mind, again, despite the general streak of victory that we've been seeing so far from Team Liquid, their buy is not going to be all that great going into this round here. While it does give them, you know, the adequate amount of guns and whatnot, Nitro's going to have to go down to a Mag 7. Stan's going to be on a UMP. Somewhat limited to, like, not a lot of mollies and whatnot if they want to try to hold up a quick push. Thankfully, CLG hasn't really been big fans of just trying to rush the sites, so it's not too big of a concern. But after this, I mean, the real concern is just look at their overall money here. They just got reset, and if they lose this one, they're not going to have any cash remaining, so that allows CLG almost to immediately tie it up for free, as Team Liquid would essentially just be on, like, a half buy or full save. But starting off, CLG again, splitting into that default, which has become, I imagine, very predictable for Team Liquid. They are trying to move in and get a player established and drop. And the good news for them is that Team Liquid have pretty much shied away from holding inside of drop for this round, so it's not going to be too big of a concern. Twist on the outside and stand for the window, though. There's going to be much bigger problems. But even better news is that Kusta found this kill in the Nitro, so now they can initiate this pinch. However, Liquid, smart about the way they read into this. They do see that it's coming, so they try to put more players in drop and preemptively look to rotate more players back in towards both drop and past this window so they can hold it a little bit better. It's not really working, though. And CLG just brute forces their way through it as they pick up the round, bringing it to 14-13.
Now Liquid's broke. Like, I kind of look at Liquid now and I wonder, okay, when do you call the pause? Do you call it now and try and talk about what's going to happen in that next buy round? Because you're staring down the barrel of a tie score yet again at 28 rounds. And even still coming into the next one with 2,400 being funneled into your bank, that's only like 4,400 for most of these guys. It's not going to be an op for JDM, and not even close. He'll be short $100. Or the closest player will be short $100. Yeah, that would be JDM. So he will be close, obviously, but it doesn't really count. He's not going to be able to get armor to back it up either. The first player's already fallen. Stanislaw was the only player towards B. They tried to stack up towards that A site and hope they could get a couple kills, maybe boost up for that next one. If they can add $300 on top of the loss bonus, maybe they'll get something. But the bomb's going to be planted here, and the odds of them finding many kills are slim, but it doesn't mean impossible. With the way they've got players already rotating around through T-spawn, FNS is actually in a position to try and find kills against them, but he's only got a Galil and one's already above him, so it's a 2-tap shot for Elige. Unfortunately for him, he's only going to get a Galil out of the exchange.
Well, it does leave Liquid back and outside of the sights, just looking to hunt down any additional kills that they can. Elige, as you just mentioned, finding his frag. Twist is going to be able to pick one up, possibly a second. Nope. Countered out by Ricky under those circumstances, and now pretty much everyone on the CLG roster is going to be escaping through this path and say, no, it's safe. They still have to leave one man behind just to ensure that we don't see any upsets with the defuse there. But Cutler's going to be safe, relatively safe to make it out, and Ethan's even here to support in the event Nitro tries to proceed outside. But the nade is a touchdown against Nitro, eliminates him, and off of that, we will end up tied 14-14. And Liquid really doesn't have a choice. They have to contest this here.
We'll see what they're able to field here. I mean, Elige does bring a Galil into the round, so I guess that's something. At the very least, it gives them some extra money to work with. But it's going to be double ump, double M4, and the Galil in the middle. No solution for Kusta's op. We'll see if they decide to play the same way they've been playing, which has been kind of aggro early on, looking for early kills. Usually it's been JDM to do that, like over towards B platform, for instance, with that op jumping up early to try and find a kill, but it's not going to happen today. He's going to be playing just on the other side of the broken wall. Elige is now up on the platform, spamming through that deep smoke that we've seen thrown out by Liquid a couple of times. The nade right into the corner, but no one's there. A refresh on that deep smoke. Meanwhile, CLG grouping up 3 players outside of Long A. That's Stanislaus' position. He's fallen back to the corner at the top of the danger stairs. And he's still got Nitro in mid. This is kind of the same setup we've seen from Liquid in the past. The only difference is the guns in play. Typically, we'd have JDM with an op playing back by Chicken Coop, and Twist, again, floating between E-Box and Window with a rifle. So here they're just working with the umps.
Well, FNS moving in finds that first kill against Stan. The rest of Team Liquid trying to rotate across the map in reaction to this one. Elige as well trying to get his flank on back over here on the platform approach. Has himself a spot behind the box. Still up in the air where exactly CLG are going to send this towards, though. Could just be another A pinch, to be completely honest. They still those players in mid trying to hold off. And Elige waits patiently at the edge of the push there.
Well, Elige is going to know now. He sees that nade come out from B. He's got to be careful. He's right around the corner. He does manage to pick up a kill on Ethan, and Ricke's like, I'm not even playing that game. I'm just going to run away. He's got the bomb, but the problem is he's really far away from his team, and they're also dying in the site. They've got Kusta, who's in connector, but there's only like 15 seconds left. What was the play plan here by CLG? I mean, even at that rate, what's Rikke supposed to do? Was the plan to just go B and it fell apart with Elige's position? I would imagine that's the case because there was not enough time for them to rotate that bomb around.
Yeah, now Team Liquid sits up on map point. Thing is, though, CLG is still going to be full bot into this one. So it is going to be knuckle brawls between both of these teams here to try and win it out. CLG definitely having to downgrade a little bit, but they've got enough gun power to make this round very easily winnable. But they have to do it to be able to take this to OT. Otherwise, it is going to be Liquid's map as they take it. The thing is, though, is that CLG fighting strong here, right? You can't discount their efforts on this map, considering it is pretty much the best map that Team Liquid has to offer in the pool. It's only going to look weaker, which lends credence to allow a large possibility for CLG to possibly take control of map number 2 and a high likelihood of this going over to a third one, too. So we'll have to wait and see. But the first map itself, not even over just yet. We do have CLG taking it nice and slow as they do line up into another default. Like I've said before, though, this has been very predictable now, so Team Liquid is probably going to be able to read into this and play accordingly.
Oh, Rikke, he sees that Molly come out. He had a fraction of a second to take a shot at JDM, but there's JDM trying to finish off what he started on that first player with the Molotov that was thrown down. He gets over-eager and loses his life, so a good shot coming in from Rikke to give some control here to CLG. Meanwhile, moving up on long, we've got FNS and we've got Cutler right by his side. On the other side, though, is Stanislaus. He's up on top of Humpty Dumpty. They have not spotted one another yet, and is still sitting in this position. He hasn't even moved. Finally, he hears the footsteps. He's like, wait, what? What's going on here? Stan's going to get the kill. Nitro gets one as well. Ethan finds a frag moving up from mid, but that is Kusta going down in exchange. It's going to be a 3v2 right now, and they don't know where Stanislaus has gone. He's dropped down, and he's flanking from mid. It's an easy kill onto Rikke, and it all comes down to Ethan to try and force overtime here. He's got the bomb. He's moving up into the site, but that will be it. Team Liquid close things out 16-14, and in a frustrating manner, CLG dropped the first map, but that was Liquid's pick, and like you said, pretty good performance from them on it.
So good. So now this is going to take us over to our second map, of course, the next map pick. And that'll be coming up, guys, in just a few minutes. You're going to want to stick around for it. The grand finals of the ESL One Cologne North American closed qualifiers continues right after this break and as soon as the players are readied up.